Hello and welcome to Paris-Longchamp in the outskirts of Paris here in France for one of the great sporting occasions of the year, the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Of course, this year's edition will be different from any other. 2020 has been a year different from any other, but we're very fortunate to be here on a day when the crowd has been limited to 1,000 people, principally the connections of runners on the day, but we'll be here. We'll try and bring it all to you as though you were here at the racecourse with us. I'm delighted to be joined, as usual on this programme, by Arthur Cooper, a broadcaster specialising in French racing. Arthur.
Hello, Catherine, and hello, everyone. Great to be back here at Longchamp. It might be a little bit on the cold side today. We've had a fair bit of rain the last few days, and the track's going to be very heavy, but we've got a great card ahead of us. The Arc always lives up to expectations. This year, of course, Enable. Can she make it 3 Arcs? She won her first 2. She's already got the unique distinction of having won an Arc at Chantilly and Longchamp, the only horse to ever be able to do that. And now can she make history further by being the first 6-year-old to win it, but also to make it 3 Arcs? Should be a great Arc as usual, and a great program with 7 Group 1s on the card, Catherine.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic day's racing waiting for us. And accompanying us today also is Thomas Huet, a new member of the team here. Thomas, a former jockey here in France. You also spent a successful 4-year stint in Australia, so some of our Australian viewers will be familiar with the face and the name, and recently retired from the jockeys ranks, but you keep a close eye, Thomas, on the French racing scene in your new role as a jockey's agent.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, Arthur. I'm very pleased to be there. Good evening to my Aussie friend, as you said. Yes, I'm very glad to be there, part of the game. I'm the lucky one, as you said. Special edition with Enable, of course. Fantastic race card, 7 races, 7 Group 1 and 9 races. Very, very heavy track today. I just walked it this morning. It's very, very heavy. So make sure you bet the good horses.
Yeah, the horses with the aptitude for the heavy going. You had your Wellington boots on there, Thomas, to go out and see the ground. But, well, Enable is here. We saw her arrive at the track a couple of hours ago. We can see Enable as she comes down on the track. She travelled over to France as usual. She always follows the same routine on the night of Friday to Saturday, and here she is coming into the Paris-Longchamp stable yard, which she knows very, very well. Imran Shawani, of course, at her head, her loyal groom and regular exercise rider who has shared so many adventures with this champion mare, Tony Proctor. John Gosden's travelling head lad also on hand to check that all goes smoothly with the champion. She's just looking around to see if anything's changed in the box from last year. Seems quite content, and here is her stablemate, Stradivarius. He's the one who could make it difficult for her. Well, one of them, Olivier Pelly, going to take the ride on this stayer, who is going to try and do better than some champion stayers in the past who've tried their luck in the Arc. Order of St. George and Westerner managed to finish on the podium, but not on the highest step of the podium. Will Stradivarius be able to do it today? He'll be helped anyway by the very testing going, and John Gosden was delighted with his preparation in a tactical renewal of the Prix trial 3 weeks ago.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox Sports 1's live international coverage of one of the most prestigious prizes in all of racing, the Arc de Triomphe. I'm Greg Wolf, here stateside in Elmont, New York. This race, the richest in all of European racing. 8 times before, horses have won the Arc twice in their career. Never, as you have heard, has a horse won it 3 times in their career. And ironically, the only other time a triple was attempted, that was back in 2015 with Trev. The connections that thwarted that attempt, trainer John Gosden and jockey Frankie Dettori. They, of course, the connections of the super mare, 6-year-old mare Enable, who will try and pull off that triple this afternoon. They know for her to go down as one of the all-time greats in this sport, she will need to pull off this unprecedented triple. You can play the Arc de Triomphe and earn a $20 bonus on the race at Longchamp today with Naira Bets. To earn the bonus, bet $25 to win on one horse in the Naira Bets app. If your ticket hits, you get a $20 bonus on top of your winnings. Download in the App Store or on NairaBets.com for Android. Visit NairaBets.com for all the promotion details. Let's take a look at the field that Enable will have to deal with this afternoon. Noticeably missing in this group this afternoon are the runners of Aidan O'Brien. He withdrew all 4 of his horses from today's race. The horse feed company Gain that he uses, they released a statement on Friday warning trainers that a recent batch was contaminated and horses could provide positive samples of a banned substance. So O'Brien said in order to protect the integrity of racing, we have decided to withdraw all our horses from racing this afternoon. But still, it will be an incredibly tough test for Enable, and maybe the toughest that she will have to deal with is a stablemate, Stradivarius, in here, who is best at staying distances of 2 miles or longer. He's a 3-time Gold Cup winner at 2.5 miles, but with the boggy going, that could be to his liking today. Enable going for an unprecedented 3rd arc still to come here on Fox Sports 1.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
We are back on Fox Sports 1's live coverage of the richest prize in European racing, the Arc de Triomphe. Our program brought to you by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. You can earn a $20 bonus on the Arc today at Longchamp with Naira Bets. During the bonus, you bet $25 to win on any one horse in the Naira Bets app. And if your ticket hits, you get a $20 bonus on top of your winnings. Download in the App Store or on nairabets.com for Android. Let's take a look at the field again that Enable will tackle in her bid for an unprecedented 3rd victory in this prestigious race. Persian King, one of the few that's proven on softer ground, and it is a bog on that turf today at Longchamp. Stradivarius, Enable's stablemate, at his best at 2 miles or beyond. 0 for 2 at 1.5 miles, but the heavy ground could be in his favor. And of course, Sotsas was 3rd in this race last year, the 4-year-old. Enable trying to make history. Let's send it out to Catherine Ford, Ian Bartlett, Arthur Cooper, and Thomas Huet.
Now back to Longchamp, and 3 years ago for her 2nd victory in the great race, 2018, and she wins here, but she only just wins. Sea of Class got a troubled run through. You'll see her yellow colours towards the right there, beginning her storm now. Enable and Frankie have come through. They've gone on to win the race. At the moment, Capri was in 2nd place. Now, Sea of Class up on the outside, closing, and at the line, oh, just a short neck was the official French verdict of the race. And then going for the 3rd victory 12 months ago, rather like this year, it's very soft holding ground. She's come through to take it up. You'll see Sotsas in the green. We'll see him taking the stage again this afternoon. But the one that comes on the outside, the red jacket of Voltgeist, but inside the final 200, look, she's home and ho. Surely 100 meters to go, she still must be a length ahead, but no, she's going to get beaten. And the end, she got well beaten, a length and 3/4 second to Voltgeist.
Yeah, very difficult moment there for Frankie Dettori, but he's hoping to set things straight this year. His 32nd Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, he knows it very, very well. And Enable, of course, has been set out all throughout the season with this one objective in mind. She's hoping to make history today, but she's already made history this year, and that was when she won a 3rd King George. We can have a look back at that race, Ian, in July at Ascot.
And we join them on the home turn. She's in second place there. A horse called Sovereign, pink jacket in front, purple colours behind her is Japan. And, well, Frankie looking round there with about 300 metres, a furlong and a half to go. And through to the lead she moves. She goes on to win just a three-runner race, but a very valuable one by 5.5 lengths. So there's no doubt this season she has already shown form right up there of the top rank. You could argue this was 2 or 3, maybe 4 pounds below her very best performances, but she won very easily. Yeah,
she didn't need to be any better, Ian, to win a third title in the King George and Queen Elizabeth stakes. And as we said, the year has been laid out for the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Liz Price, a British-based journalist, went over to see John Gosden a couple of weeks ago to get to the latest on the filly and get his view on how she is this year in 2020.
And strangely, at her total zenith, imperious zenith, as a 3-year-old. A 4-year-old year was difficult, but she won the Arc and the Breeders' Cup. And then last year, I thought she showed a consistently high level of form. This year, it's been more difficult for her because her metabolism has changed. And quite frankly, in March, April, she looked like a huge broodmare. So we were very patient, and she'd go to the Eclipse at 80% of fitness. Which is fine, because Frankie was very clear that he was going to let her run, and that was it. He wasn't going to get after her in any way. And I'd never mind doing that in that case, and she was weighing heavy for her racing weight going into the race, but she ran a blinder. She was second, just the last furlong. You could see what they say, we go for our girth. She just tired, and Frankie looked after her, but she ran a very good second with Japan head or neck back in third. So it was a thrilling first run for me, and it put a spot on for the King George. You know, she's in great form right now, and she's at her correct racing weight, and hopefully Frankie and I don't mess it up.
Let's hope not. John Gosden, of course, not present here at Paris-Longchamp today. The COVID restrictions meaning that he can't, or that if he did travel, then he would have to quarantine for 2 weeks on returning back to England. He's a busy man, so he's not here. His son Thadde's here, and Fanny is with us for an interview or some information.
Saddles, and we'll be saddling Stradivarius and Enable in a while, but in the meantime we're enjoying seeing her walk, led by Imran Shawani as always, and she seems to be in racing mode, in her bubble, focused as we like to see her. Obviously, you know, coming back here for a 4th arc at the age of 6 is an incredible challenge, but look at how she stretches her legs, and she really is not frazzled by anything. She's an ultimate professional, focused on what she has to do, and it seems to me like she's coming here perfectly prepped. She hasn't had too hard a season, and obviously the ground is not ideal, but it could have been worse, as Sadie said earlier on, when you found out we only had 1.5 millimeter of rain over the past 24 hours when we had a lot more forecasts.
Yeah, I love that, Fanny. You're always looking on the bright side, and we are lucky, to be honest, because it could have been pouring down all day today. It's quite blustery, it's a little bit chilly, but the sun is still out. It's staying fine for the moment, so it was fantastic to see that really privileged footage of Enable strolling round the stable and the pre-parading area before Thadde Gosden puts the Frankie Dettori saddle on her back as she bids to make history. John Gosden, of course, the trainer of Enable, also the trainer of Stradivarius, who ironically looks to be the biggest rival to his stablemate. Enable trading at evens at the moment on the PMU, and Stradivarius at 6-1, second favourite. Stradivarius, who was here just 3 weeks ago for the Prix, which we're going to have a look back with you, Ian.
Yes, this was on much faster ground than he's going to get today, and the trip of 2,400 metres, the second time he'd run over it this season. His other 2 races have been over much further, 3,200 and 4,000 metres. He'd won those very easily indeed. It was 2,400 metres last time. It was fast ground, it was a slow pace, and essentially he's known for being a doer-stayer, but he only just gets beaten by Anthony van Dijk. That wasn't a bad run at all.
Yeah, not bad at all, and that was John Gosden's verdict on the race. He also spoke about Stradivarius to Liz Price.
Well, I was very happy with the Prix because that was run in a normal manner for a trial. in that we go a nice, sensible, gentle pace. We get beautifully balanced. We come into straight and then pew, we show our turn of foot, and we have a lovely race 3 weeks before the Arc. So I was delighted with it. The people who probably bet him, they weren't, but I thought it was a great run. This is a cup horse who goes 2.5 miles, and for him to quicken as he did with a Derby winner, I was really thrilled, and I noticed some nice French horses who really know how to quicken couldn't get to the first two. So to me, it was a perfect trial.
Yeah, perfect trial there for Stradivarius. What did you make of that race, Thomas?
Stradivarius race, the last one?
Yeah, sorry, oh, hang on. We've got Fanny, who's just in the stable yard, going to have a look at Enable. Looks like she's getting saddled in this box there. I can see the number 8.
When you want to disappear from the camera and let the horses take the first stage, and there we see Lady Gosden saddling Enable for probably the last time. That's a moment to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely, Fanny, a historic moment. Enable. I'll try not to spoil it by speaking over it, but Enable, what a mare she's been. 3 King Georges, 2 Arcs, a Breeders' Cup, brought each time on top form by John Gosden. And here's Thady, got the responsibility in his hands here to saddle the mare. And there she is, just nodding her head a little bit in the darkness there of the stable. Enable, really privileged footage that we have here. We're very fortunate to get up close and personal with these champions, thanks to Fanny.
She seems so focused and so ready to go at the same time. It's incredible to have the chance to be able to witness this. And as hard as some of the news have been in the past 24 hours and in the past weeks, we need to focus on the positive, and having the chance to be here and to see her try and go for a 3rd Arc, that's a reason to be grateful.
Absolutely, such a sporting gesture by her connections, by Prince Khalid Abdullah and all the Juddmonte team. John Gosden explains each time it was Prince Khalid who made the decision to stay in training for this 4th attempt at the Arc to try and enter into history. And Frankie Dettoria said, you know, he's won plenty of Arcs, he's won 6 Arcs, and he wants to do it this time for Enable, so that she goes down in history for, well, for this accomplishment, which has never been done before. So let's hope she does it. We've had some nice stories in the first 2 Group 1s for the thoroughbreds. Let's hope Enable keeps on going, but she looks to be pretty relaxed. She knows the job, she knows how it's all done. So that's Enable. We also had a look at Stradivarius, and we can have another look back at one of the other trials, which is historically very important. It's the Grand Prix de Paris, which took the place of the Prix Niel this year, because the Grand Prix de Paris, the Group 1, wasn't able to be run on Bastille Day as it usually is, so they ran it on Arc Trials Day. It was won by Mogul, who was scratching in that bombshell news last night. But if we can have a look at this race and notably in swoop, a very, very impressive end of the race to finish 2nd in the Grand Prix de Paris.
And here we are looking through 2 horses that we're going to see this afternoon in swoop. Now, he's one from the right of your picture, splash of white on his face, blue sleeves, and Gold Trip, who precedes him at the moment, green jacket and pink cap. They're both coming down the centre. Mogul on the left, whoosh, gone and has won the race. Gold Trip looks all over to be the 2nd at the moment, but in swoop, galloping on down the outside. Now, he is a horse who's got soft ground form. His breeding, everybody thinks, well, he will love the really heavy ground today. And shortly, of course, we will find out. But he was certainly staying on very well into 2nd place.
We will find out more later on, but we'll find out more straight away with Fanny, who's with Teddy Grimthorpe.
Yes, Lord Grimthorpe is part of the team that has bred, seen her grow, win, 1, 2 Arcs, come back for a 3rd. And we're going to have to enjoy today's race, as we know it's her last time out. How do you feel this close to this outstanding challenge?
It's exciting. It's exciting. I think that's what we come into this game for these these great moments, these great horses and these great races. On whether it's her last race or not, Prince Khalid will decide. Yeah, and yet, as yet, we don't know. But obviously, her career has been just a joy for everyone, from everyone at Juddmonte, from Prince Khalid downwards. Really, she's been very important and special filly, and to have retained her enthusiasm throughout has been pretty amazing.
It is indeed a training feat to keep a 6-year-old in training, and as John mentioned, her metabolism has changed.
Yes, I think we all, as we get older, we get a little bit, we take a little bit harder to get fit, and she's no different. But she's come well. Her preparation's been very straightforward this year. She's been good since September Stakes at Kempton, and no, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, the ground is going to be an interesting factor here, and but you know, it'll be the same for everyone.
Thank you very much, and all the best for what is Enable's last run in Longchamp. And we don't know yet if that might be her last race ever.
Yeah, she does actually have entries, Fanny, in notably the Champion Stakes. It's all obviously going to be up to Teddy Grimthorpe, not up to Teddy Grimthorpe, up to Prince Khalid following today's race, what the future holds for Enable. But I think we all expect that today's is going to be her last outing, so let's make the most of it. Here she is entering the paddock of Paris-Longchamp. She knows it very well. She seems to be quite calm. Let's have a look at some of the other horses in the race. There's Deirdre trying to break the Japanese hoodoo on the race. I bumped into Yoshitaka Hashida earlier on. He'd been walking the course and he said it was challenging. So a few question marks about the chances of Deirdre, who's at 55 at the moment on the PMU. I think they might have to wait until 2021 at the earliest for a Japanese win in the race. There was Olivier Pelly we just caught a glimpse of. And what else have we got? This is number 11, Chachnak, who was bought back at the sales last night at Arcana for 250,000 euros.
That's one of the outsiders as well going into this race. We've got number 12 there in Swoop, which is, as we saw before in the Grand Prix de Paris, was a nice run. Won the German Derby. He's a very lightly raced horse, very unexposed. Won his German Derby back through on his only his third race start. He's gone round on soft ground. He ran second in third in a Group 2 race down at Lyon, then won the Hamburg race, the Deutsches Derby, came out, stayed on well, 2 lengths beaten into second placing at Longchamp. I think he's got a good chance. Francois-Henri Grappart is a trainer who knows how to win a classic as well. Yeah,
Francis has had a very, very successful couple of seasons. Thomas, what did you make of his run in the Grand Prix de Paris that we saw earlier?
It was pretty good, but the race before was already very good. And it's a funny horse because he's off the bridle horse. He's always off the pace, off the speed, just to ask him, waiting for the jockeys. If you watch the Derby, he was nearly third or fourth last, and he just hit the line to win by half length. I don't think he will win by 10 lengths if he have to, but he will probably
win for 9.
No, but he's the type of horse he will just win by half lengths, just past the horse and on the job. But yeah, definitely, I think it's the first French chance.
Yeah, I think so. And I had a fascinating chat with Francis Grappart after his second place in the Grand Prix de Paris. Francis said that he'd been afraid at one moment that the horse wasn't going to be ready to run in that race. He'd had a couple of minor setbacks in his training, and he said he was delighted with the second place. He'll come on, well, a ton from that. And he also said, as we expected, that he thinks he'll be better suited by heavy ground because, of course, it was fast on Arc Trials Day. So there is in Swoop. Here is Enable. We keep getting a shot of her. She still seems to be enjoying her outing in Paris, taking it all in, enjoying it.
Interesting filly, of course, is number 15, Rabaha. She, of course, gets the weight allowance being the 3-year-old filly. She's had the 5 starts. She's won 3. She's progressive. She went round, of course, in the Vermeil last time out. Ran second, beaten 3 lengths. She'll stay the distance. From a track perspective, she's been only on yielding or holding ground in the past. Rabaha, she's not the roughest in the race.
Yeah, no, she's a really interesting candidate. Her Grand Dame won the Oaks. Her great Grand Dame won the Oaks as well. She's by Sea the Stars. She's really bred for this distance. Last time was the first time that she tackled the 2.5 miles. She finished second to Tarnawa. I'm just a little bit concerned about her. Jean-Claude Rouge said in an interview with us for Equidia that he wasn't sure at all how she would handle the ground. and she's been a little bit unlucky twice in her second places in Group 1 company, in the Prix de Diane and also in the Prix Vermeil. And, you know, in my opinion, you can be unlucky once, but if you're unlucky twice, it means that, you know, a top-class horse like Unable isn't unlucky like that, in my opinion.
Persian King #1, of course, is stepping up for the first time further than the 1,600 metres.
Yeah, no, I was looking at Thomas because I know you have a plenty of opinion about Persian King.
But the giant of the race, Persian King, is so big. If you look at him in the paddock, he's massive.
Yeah.
His last win was just impressive. But my concern is the distance and the ground, for sure. Yep. I can't believe that horse can stay the 12 for long. He got beat in the Jockey Club last year, probably because of the distance. Dropped back in distance from the trainer all the season. Very disappointed race in the Prix Jacques Le Marois.
Okay.
So, big question mark.
Yeah, Fanny is with Jean-Claude Rouge, or with some information from Jean-Claude.
So we're with Jean-Claude Rouge. Last year you saddled Sotsas to finish third in this race. You mentioned earlier this year you had a hard time bringing back to the best. How is he right now?
He's on time, I hope, because we prepped this race since the beginning of the year, and we think at the stables the horse is on top, but he will tell us a bit later on.
Rabia is a classy filly. We know that. We know she can handle the distance. What did you make of her last run, and how is she coming in today?
I think the last race was benefit for today. The only question is the ground. She never ran. I hope she will be better on soft than on good. So, but we don't know exactly.
Ground for Sotsas, he's got some form on soft ground.
Yes, he got some form on both. Firm in the Jockey Club, and last year in the Arc it was like today about, and he ran well too, so it's not a big difference for him.
Thank you very much. We wish you all the best.
When you actually look at his form, he did run his second 2 starts ago, beaten a neck by Scaletti, who came out and won yesterday. That was over 2,000 metres on a heavy track at Deauville back on the 15th of August. That was a pretty solid run, and the form's been stacked up since then. But, Thomas, what did you make of his run in the Irish Championship Stakes?
It was a very good run. I think the distance wasn't probably the best for him. But as the trainer and the jockey said, it's...
Sorry, Tom, I interrupted you there. We're just waiting for the parade to come out and have a look at them one by one. Pierre-Charles Boudet, what a year he has had. We talked a little bit about Persian King earlier. Let's hope we get the parade in number order. Here is Enable. The director is focusing on the hot favourite of the race. We've got Royal Julius there. The parade looks as though it's broken up slightly. We can't complain about excessive atmosphere today. No horses should be boiling over. Here's Persian King, a Group 1 winner on the mile, a winner of the Poule d'Essai des Poulains here last year. Here is Enable.
Keep going back to Enable, don't we?
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get a horse-by-horse view of the parade, but here's Royal Julius.
Yeah, he has had, he ran second here at Longchamp on a heavy track back in 2018, but he's probably going to be a little bit outclassed after a second over in Italy last time out.
We should be getting Way to Paris next.
He's an interesting horse, Way to Paris. He won the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud 2 starts ago over the 2400, and then was 5th beaten third, 3 lengths in the Qatar Prix Foire last time out. A chance, and he does perform on heavy. Number 6, Stradivarius, of course, is going to be very hard to beat in this race. The conditions will suit him, and he'll be staying on. Number 7, Sotsas, as we were saying, he's been going fairly well. He won the Group 1 Guinée 3 starts ago. A bit disappointing, I thought, in the championship over in Ireland last time out.
A little bit disappointing. Jean-Claude Rouge said after that race that he'll be better over the mile and a half. The parade seems to have broken up a little bit. That was a gold trip we just saw cantering away under Stéphane Pasquier. Enable. He's got to tail up a little bit. Seems to be enjoying it. Seems to be at ease. How do you find her there, Thomas?
She looks pretty good. But she looks quiet and concentrated in the paddock, and she knows where she is.
Yeah, she knows what the job is.
Gold Trip, of course, horse number 10, has performed on heavy going, has run second on a heavy track early on in his career. He was third in the Grand Prix de Paris last time out. Number 11, Chaknak, probably looks a little bit outclassed, winning a Group 3 last time out in the Prince d'Orange here over the 2,000 metres, and is stepping up in Journey for the first time. And, of course, number 15, Rabanard, the 3-year-old filly, makes up the field of 11 for this year's Arc. She's a smart filly, but as Catherine said, she has been a little bit unlucky in Group 1 races to date.
And there's Deirdre, another of the fillies, and Enable. Keep coming back to her as there's the conversation. Enable, it is really all about her today. Frankie Dettori, 32nd Arc. This is the horse really of his career.
And there has been good support for Enable here in front. She opened up at 2.0, even money, is now into 1.8. So she's into a 4-to-5 favourite here in France. Number 1, Persian King, is at 9-to-1 here in France. Go down the page then to number 6, Stradivarius, around about 7.7 or 7-to-1. 7-to-1 also for horse number 7 in the race, which is Sotas. So well fancied here is Sotas today. Then we've got Enable at 1.8. Next horse in the market is horse number 12, In Swoop, at 9.6, and 14 for number 15, which is Rabanard. So it's really only about 5 or 6 chances in this race, according to the market. Catherine?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really fascinating race, and I think we can get some more insight from Fanny.
Yes, joining us is Yoshitaki Ashida to talk about Deirdre. We've always thought that a Japanese horse or filly will win the Arc one day. Could she be the one? The ground obviously would be one of your concerns.
Yes, very much. You know, we'll be here for over 1 year, and we feel like this is a typical horse. We have to try the Arc because we might adjust to the soft ground. That's the reason why we are challenging here.
And it's a very different situation from other Japanese contenders in that she's stayed in Europe for a long time. She's trained like a European more than any other Arc contender in the past.
Yes, very much. We witnessed the success of Egon Passa, which is trained in France, and why not in England as well? Because, you know, as you see, the Enable, she used the same long hill, one hill, Alba Hasley. So we try, and we are still challenger. So, but racing is racing. So we hope our good luck.
Combate kudasai, I think, is the Japanese for good luck. All the best to you and the team of Deirdre.
Thanks very much. A real sporting outlook there from the Japanese connections of Deirdre. They posted this as the objective at the beginning of the year, and they've held their guns, and here she is. That's great. A globe-trotting mare who's been really important for the Japanese racing industry. She won the Nassau Stakes at Goodwood last year, which was a really popular victory. Looks as though it's going to be difficult for her to win the Arc de Triomphe, but you never know. You can always have a surprise, especially on testing ground like this. Are there any other outsiders, Thomas, that we should be looking into? Maybe a French one.
I say Gold Trip, maybe.
Yeah, his performance in the Grand Prix de Paris wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, it was good. He handled the track, the track and the soft ground in the Prix Greffel at Lyon. Yeah. It's this type of horses we can just settle behind the speed.
Exactly. He likes to be on the speed, does Gold Trip. I think the speed might actually be set by Chaknak in the race. He led throughout last time out when he won the Prix d'Orange here at Longchamp. And Gold Trip is a horse who does show pace to be just behind the speed in the early stages.
We were talking about this earlier, Thomas, and you thought Persian King might go in front.
Yeah, because I'm not sure he will stay the trip. He will probably jump and be too keen to be able to
he's got a very high cruising speed, hasn't he?
Because before the fourth scratching from Aidan O'Brien, everyone will think Sovereign and Serpentine will lead, so we'll have a lot of speed in a race. But this morning, the cards are different. I don't really know who will lead in this race, honestly. Maybe an outsider, like Gold Trip or Chaknak. But do you think the pace will be quick enough for Enable if they lead? I'm not sure. Maybe Persian King will try to lead, but I'm not sure we'll stay the trip, so...
We'll soon find out.
Yeah. Even a horse like Royal
I'm a fan
Julius,
of Persian King.
Royal Julius can actually sit on the speed as well. That's quite regular for him. So I see they're beginning to load here, Catherine.
Yeah, they are. We'll head up to Ian in just a second, but just before they do, your favourite in the race?
I'm on Enable.
in Swoop.
Swoop, I like in Swoop a lot. I'm going to go for Enable for the win, but I like in Swoop. And I also like Persian King. And over to you now, Ian.
Thanks, Catherine. Deirdre has just gone forward into the stalls, and now Enable is about to take her position up into stall number 5. Huge winnings, this mare already, over £10 million in sterling. And only a couple more to go forward. The easiest one to spot because of the yellow colours, or the grey colour of him. He's greyer than me now. Way to Paris. He was a little reluctant to go around behind the stalls. He's got to go to 3. Persian King, who's never gone this far before, has gone forward there. Pierre-Charles Boudot. The blindfold is on Way to Paris, who has to take his position in the starting stall. Stradivarius has gone forward up to the outside in 14. So 11 of them now. 2,400 meters. 99th running of the Qatar Prix de Arc de Triomphe. Way to Paris is in, so they're lined up and ready. And they're away. They get away. Way to Paris in Deirdre, the 2 slowest into their stride as they begin their 2,400-meter trip. And Persian King, the one who's up in trip, is keenest of all and is just in front early on. There's a wall behind him, though, with Chachnak just emerging through into a narrow second as Sotsas, Enable, Stradivarius, and in Swoop. Rabihar dropped in behind those. She was a bit keen early on. Then Way to Paris and Gold Trip together, 2 lengths behind those 2. The white jacket of Royal Julius and the red cap of Deirdre at the back of the field. It's not a strong gallop. It is Persian King. Pierre-Charles Boudot leading. Pink sleeve jacket Chachnak has moved through into second place. Then the yellow cap is Stradivarius with Olivier Pelly to the near side at this camera angle of Frankie Dettori on Enable. White sleeves and pink cap. Over the far side of those is Sotsas, the 2 shades of green against the running rail as they move up to the highest point of the course. Then blue sleeves against the running rail is In Swoop, a green jacket, a nose-bounded horse, Gold Trip up on the outside of Rabihar in the blue and white colours. The yellow jacket of Way to Paris is next, and then comes Royal Julius, the checks on the sleeves, white and black, and the red and white colours of Deirdre as they begin to swing right-handed, and now they run downhill. They've got past halfway. And still Persian King leads. They've let him alone in front, and he leads by a length and a half. Chachnak in second, Sotsas in third as they cross the sprint course. Then Stradivarius travels strongly on the outside of Enable. They're together in 4th and 5th. In Swoop is against the rails, just a half length behind those. Rabihar in blue, Gold Trip in green, and next behind these Way to Paris. On the right is Royal Julius. Deirdre is next, but now they are down the full straight and heading towards the home turn. They're very, very well bunched, and it's still Persian King dictating this, although in second Chachnak is now a lot closer to him. Sotsas is on the heels of the nose of those. Then Enable and Stradivarius are poised in 4th and 5th positions as now they're into the home straight. Persian King is challenged by Chachnak. Enable is there. Stradivarius, Sotsas in behind those. Still there as well in Swoop. Here's Gold Trip on the outside, but they haven't got past Persian King yet. He's got just over a furlong to go. Now Gold Trip with the noseband and Sotsas between them. In Swoop, it's close up. Enable try, but she's not going to get there. It is Sotsas in front. Christian Gimuro now from In Swoop in second place. It's getting closer all the time, but Sotsas has won it. In Swoop with second. Persian King a mighty run in third. Then Gold Trip and Rabihar, Enable, Stradivarius, Way to Paris, Deirdre and Royal Julius, and they trail back them to Chachnak, who was the last one home. Well, he's had disappointing runs so far this season, but when it counted, he's delivered. 7, Sotsas has won the Arc. In Swoop in second. Persian King a mighty run up big in trip, finished in third. They're all French horses. Gold Trip in 4th position. Rabihar behind that. Then Enable and Stradivarius, Way to Paris and Deirdre and Royal Julius. So it's not a complete shock, but it might not have been the one a lot of people thought. But it's Sotsas has won the Arc.
Jean-Claude Rouge said this was the one race that he had set the horse for all season, and number 7, Sotsas, has landed the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe for 2020 with Christian Gimuro on board, has won over number 12, In Swoop, Ronan Thomas, and third in the race going to number 1, Persian King, attempting to lead throughout with Pierre-Charles Boudot. 4th in was horse number 10, Gold Trip, a mighty run, and 15, Rabihar into 5th placing. It wasn't to be for Enable. Frankie Dettori gave the filly or the mare every possible chance from that position. It was a bunched field.
Yeah, bunched field. We'll have plenty of time to look over it, but straight away we can join Fanny.
Yes, we're with Frédéric Pontier of Team Jean-Claude Rouge. He's the one who travels with Sotsas, and he said he's never seen him so well since the Prix de Jockey.
Le cheval, je l'avais jamais vu aussi bien que l'année dernière à 3 ans. Au Jockey Club, c'était le même, un guerrier. Il était là, il était présent. Et quand je le voyais marcher avant la course, j'ai dit à tout le monde, à tout mon staff, à toute l'écurie, là, il faut qu'ils aillent vraiment très vite aujourd'hui. Je l'ai dit avant la course et je ne me suis pas trompé. Et bravo à tout le monde, à Monsieur Rouget, Jean-Bernard Roth, tout le monde, l'équipe de Pau. C'est une équipe, c'est un tout, c'est un tout. Bravo, c'est un champion et il l'a montré.
A true champion. Frédéric was saying earlier that he was commenting that he's a true warrior, and he found again the warrior that they had last year for the Prix du Jockey Club. As Jean-Claude Rouge had explained, he had a hard time finding him again, and an incredible training team. Part of them work out of Deauville, that's where Sotsas is being trained. Part of them also work in Pau, and Frédéric was complimenting the whole team as they're all part of the success. And he actually commented that maybe he will retire now. C'est vrai, c'est la retraite maintenant? Non, pas encore.
Non, pas encore là. On va rentrer gentiment et on verra ça la semaine prochaine.
We'll come back first and then we'll see next week. We'll let you enjoy, and might also keep an eye and maybe say a word to Frankie as he's coming back with Enable.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, Fanny, if you could. But yeah, really rewarding team win there for Team Rouge. First Arc win for the trainer. He's won plenty of classics over the past few seasons, and he was pretty bullish about the chances of this Sotsas just in the last couple of weeks. He was disappointed with his performance in the Irish Champion Stakes, but said, don't take that too seriously. He will be better over the 1.5 miles. He's a true 1.5 mile horse now, and he really saw it out strongly on this very testing ground.
Always in a good position was Sotsas. He was in 3rd or 4th position throughout. Now there is an inquiry by looks of things.
There's an inquiry, yeah, which does involve the winner. So it looks like the winner and the 4th horse are involved in an inquiry. So
Gold Trip. So the first horse, Sotsas, and Gold Trip.
You know, she's a queen in my heart anyway.
A queen in all of our hearts. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Imran, and thank you all the team.
So you can see there Enable coming back beaten, but not out. She's had a fantastic career. She's won the 2 Arcs and finished 2nd. She's won 3 King Georges. But this is this year's Arc winner, Christian Gimuro. A fantastic win for this jockey, Italian-born. He was champion jockey in Italy, a record-breaking jockey in Italy at a very, very young age. And then with all the difficulties with the racing industry over there, he moved to France, and it's been a successful move for him. He's the #1 jockey for the powerful Rouge stable this season,
and he won all the big races.
Yeah, exactly, all the big races, and now he's won the biggest one of them all.
Of course, Sotsas winning the Prix de Jockey Club 15 or 17 months ago now, and today he's been able to go on and win this 2nd classic.
And confirmation coming through there that the inquiry does involve the winner and also the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th. But Fanny is with Jean-Claude Rouge.
Jean-Claude Rouge, who was asking us what's happening. So you said, Catherine, the inquiry might involve several horses in the finish, right? Apparemment, il y a plusieurs. Well, it's maybe a little bit too early to celebrate, but he did seem to make it really easy.
Yes, when he took the lead in the last furlong, he has some no problem to finish, but I don't like the inquiries, you know, but for me, I didn't think, I don't know, so.
We spoke with Frédéric Pontier, who said he's a true warrior, and that's what he's showing us on his best. He takes a lot to catch.
Yes. No, we are happy for all the stables, formidable. It's a great horse, and it was not easy to prep this race this year. We should have go to Leopardstone, and we did some choices not easy to take, and, but today the result is there. Yeah.
Well, well done. We'll come back and see you afterwards. And well done to the team of Sotsas, to Peter Brandt, who I know wanted to have the Arc. In the long list of races he's won all over the world on both sides of the Atlantic. And we'll wait. We'll welcome back an incredible warrior and wait for the result of the inquiry. Sotsas right now is being led back. We don't have the crowd cheering as we usually do, and we also have the grave faces waiting for the end of the inquiry, but Christian seems looking back at the screen right now. We're going to wait to celebrate completely, because we've learned in the history of the Arc. I remember seeing Sagas come back, and we know that things can happen. So we'll come back to you in a little while.
Yeah, we've had plenty of drama in the race over the years, Fanny. So we'll just bear with us for a little while. We'll have to get the jockeys back, and then have to go into the stewards' room. But in recent years, the rules have changed in France, Thomas. Previously, up to about 3 or 4 years ago, it was considered that if a horse had stopped another horse from gaining the best possible placing, then he was demoted behind that horse. But now the rules have changed.
Yes, exactly. They changed it. It's more like English rules. You have to show you could beat the horse who would give you an impact. So I don't think the winner is really concerned. He's probably concerned at the 300 mark when he popped up from Persian King legs, and Shashnak was here between him and Enable, was squeezed. And in the same time, Gold Trip came from the outside and hanging a bit, but I don't think it will change anything.
No, I think, well, some famous last words, but I think that the winner is safe. He's being applauded anyway back into the winner's enclosure, but the inquiry is, of course, still pending. Applause there for Sotsas, who's just returned into the winner's enclosure with Christian Gimuro. Really emotional win for the jockey and for Jean-Claude Rouge. Bit of raucous celebration there in the parade ring, and apparently there was a little bit of raucous activity in the race. I think we have some footage for you of Chachnak, who actually tried to bite Enable during the race. See if we can have a little look back at that. There's Enable, very easily to recognise, and Chachnak just on the left in the picture.
I don't think he tried to back him.
He tried to bite.
No, I don't think he tried to bite Enable. I think the jockeys of Shashnak saw Sotsas coming through, and he just tried to control and make him safe and turn his head on the left.
Yeah, so at the moment, that's the least of Christian Gimuro's worries, is running back into the weighing room there, into the steward's room. So we'll keep you informed as to what goes on. So maybe we can have time to look through the entire replay of the race and just see how it all panned out. Persian King, of course, was an early leader and managed to keep his lead for a long time. Let's have a look at the replay of the race.
As you expected, Tomo, Persian King jumped straight to the lead, and he took up the early running. And of course, for the first couple of hundred, they have to stay in their correct positions. Persian King took the early lead.
Yeah, he took the lead. He made a bit of time to go to the fence.
On the outside there, on the inside, Chachnak is going up to join him in that forward position. Stradivarius was up in a very forward position as well on the outside of the black jacket there with the yellow cap. And of course the winner, Sotsas, down on the inside, perfectly positioned in 4th placing, as was Enable in 5th placing, up on the outside, 1 horse off the fence. And then we had In Swoop also close up in the early stages. So Persian King had taken the lead at the end of around about 400 metres and sets an even speed. It's a very compact field for an Arc. There's not much between first and last here. Out the back we had Deidre, along with also Royal Julius. But it's Persian King setting a solid pace out in front by a length in these heavy conditions. Chachnak on the outside. Now, Stradivarius is in 3rd placing, Enable in the centre, and Sotsas enjoying the run of the race for Christian Gimuro. He's got that horse perfectly positioned. In behind him, then it was In Swoop as they head down the side of the course. They're more than halfway home, heading past the 1,000-metre mark. And behind those runners then we've got Rabenar. Gold Trip on the outside in the green jacket, light pink cap, is about to move forward with Rabenar. Way to Paris was never in the race at any stage of the event. And the two outsiders towards the rear. But it's still Persian King out in front here, Tomo. He's doing it very, very well. He's setting the speed. Chaknak still with him. And then we've got on the inside Sotsas and Enable still travelling quite well. Stradivarius on the outer. And they're about to come into the home straight.
Yeah, Persian King lead very steady, and he never get pressure from Chaknak in the outside, so gave him an easy time, and Sotsas would just box it behind him.
He had a perfect run through, didn't he, under Christian Gimuro?
And he just have to use his turn of foot and he just kick. And probably Enable had the best race, but behind the weak horse.
She just didn't have it this year, and Christian Gimuro actually opted to go to the outside of Persian King rather than going for the cutaway rail, whereas In Swoop with Ronan Toma opted to go down on the inside, makes up late ground, but after that perfect ride, taking the lead and drawing clear, hanging on to win, was Sotsas this year's Arc.
Yeah, here he is. This looks like Sotsas in the stable area.
I think it's a typical French races. Not a lot of speed in the race, and
yeah, Pierre-Charles Bouda almost pulled off a masterclass. I was pretty impressed there with the performance of Persian King. You know, he kept on going pretty much to the line. That's going to be the last outing, I think, for the horse who's retiring to stud the Arc de Triomphe here in France, which is great news for French breeders. And what a good end of the race there for In Swoop. Francis Graffaz already said that his horse will be staying in training next year as a 4-year-old. I think he can be one to have a look at for the Arc of 2021, especially if the grounds are testing again. A really fantastic end of the race for him. If we could maybe have a look at what's going on in the stewards' room with Pierre-Charles, is that Pierre-Charles Bouda? Yeah, with the pale blue sleeves.
Yeah,
he was not
blue. It's Pierre-Charles. Green is Tony Picon at Chaknak.
And then we've got the head-on view.
You see, probably Persian King shift out a little bit as well, couple of strides. And when Sotsas went out, gave a small gap to Chaknak, was tired. But I think Enable and Stradivarius were already tired at this time.
Yep, they were well beaten.
I don't think they're going to make any changes. I don't want to be too adamant about that, but I would be surprised if they changed it. Sotsas seemed to be the best horse in the race today, so it would be.
And in this type of ground, it increases the impact of horses. When you just shift a bit on the heavy track, it's worse than on the good ground.
So that wasn't the outcome we were expecting of the Arc today. A steward's inquiry, a first 5 home French trained, Enable a gallant performance, but just too hard for her now at the age of 6 years old, and on this very, very testing ground. Stradivarius just, yeah, maybe the race not really run to suit him either. But they were hoping for a strong pace set by the O'Brien team, and turned out more like the Prix with a bit of acceleration, and he just couldn't go with it. Jean-Claude Rouge there.
Top training performance from Jean-Claude Rouge, because at the beginning of the season, if someone says Sotsas will win the Arc, we'll say yes. Yeah. Nobody arrogant.
So we're still waiting for this inquiry, but Sotsas is in part of this inquiry. And
just while we're waiting for the results of the inquiry, Arthur, we can catch up with the interview that Fanny did with Frankie Dettori as he came in aboard Enable. So let's listen to Frankie's reaction straight after that.
Frankie, she has nothing in defeat. What a great champion.
Yeah, you know, it could be sad that it could be my last time on her, but you know, she hated that ground. I knew my fate at the 400. You know, she's a queen in my heart anyway.
A queen in all of our hearts. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Imran, and thank you all the team.
Yeah, thanks to all the team of Enable who've been so sporting. It's now official, so 7, 12, 1, 10 and 15. No change has been made to the results of this Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. So first arc for trainer Jean-Claude Rouge, as we were saying. Fantastic training performance from him, who, similarly to John Gosden, he laid out the year.
A long inquiry into the final order of the Arc de Triomphe. In the end, no change. It is Sotsas, the half-brother to 2018 female turf champion Sister Charlie for Peter Brandt. First ever arc for Jean-Claude Rouge and Christian Gimuro. We'll be back with more right after this.
Deep in the heart of horse country, from these Kentucky hills has sprung a legacy rivaled by few. From the all-time greats of yesterday to the breed-shaping bloodlines of today, our roots hold strong with the promise of tomorrow. For over a century, our passion has guided us to where we stand and everything we stand for. Claiborne Farm, the tradition continues.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
We are back on Fox Sports 1's live coverage of the Arc de Triomphe. Still have the Prix de l'Opera to come. It was not to be for Enable, trying to make history to become the first ever 3-time winner of the Arc de Triomphe. You heard from jockey Frankie Dettori, who was seeking a 7th win in the Arc. He knew early on in this race the going was just not to her liking. It is Sotsas surviving a long inquiry in this race. 3rd in this race last year, who gets the win. First ever Arc win for trainer Jean-Claude Rouge and for jockey Christian Gimuro, the half-brother, the female turf champion here in the States, Sister Charlie, with the Arc victory. The main French hope, well, it was the French. 1, 2, 3 in this race. Sotsas, in swoop, Persian King. The top 3 runners representing France. Let's get back to Longchamp for the trophy celebration.
Involved in racing for many, well, decades now, involved in Swale, who won the Kentucky Derby, and in Thunder Gulch and Mr. Prospector, so now he has an arc to his Roll of Honor with Sotsas.
Siuni, of course, is the leading stallion here in France at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Siuni won the Jean-Luc Lagardère a few years ago. And there's Henri Bozeux, what a season he's having, the breeder of this horse. He had a fantastic sale at the Arcana Select Yearling sale a couple of weeks ago. And he has the dam of Sotsas in his fields up in Normandy, so a great result for him. A very French result, although Christian is Italian and the owner is American, but a French bred winner of the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Very important for the industry here. And we have the French national anthem, La Marseillaise, which we'll listen to.
Bid for history for the 6-year-old super mare Enable, denied in the Arc. Satsas punches his ticket to the Breeders' Cup Turf should connections choose to come to the States. Up next, a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf in the Prix de l'Opera. That is next here on FS1.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires. With Grade 1 winners on dirt and turf and star performers both at home and abroad, Warfront's success as an international super sire is unmatched. Recent stars include War of Will, a classic winner on dirt and now a Grade 1 winner on turf. Plus Halliday, winner of the Grade 1 4-star Dave Handicap at Saratoga. In the auction ring, his progeny continue to command top dollar. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
We're back with continuing live coverage on Fox Sports 1 of the Arc de Triomphe. Still to come, the Prix de l'Opera for fillies and mares at 1.25 miles on the turf. A win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. Our program brought to you by Naira Bets. You can join Naira Bets today and play all the action from Longchamp and other tracks all around the world while earning up to a $200 deposit match bonus. New members use the promo code MATCH200 to take advantage at sign up and earn that $200 deposit match after that initial deposit. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime at nairabets.com. Up next, another ticket will be punched to the Breeders' Cup. This to the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. Fillies and mares in the Prix de l'Opera. Prestigious in its own right. Major scratch in this race from Maiden O'Brien's son's barn. Donica O'Brien, Fancy Blue is the morning line favorite, and that leaves 2 3-year-old fillies as complete standouts in this race. Takil putting her perfect 5-for-5 record on the line. Jean-Claude Rouge looking for the sweep of the Arc in the Prix de l'Opera. And Alpine Star coming off a second against males in Group 1 company. Had beat the boys earlier in her career. 3-for-6 lifetime. Those are the 2 standouts in this race to come. We head back to Longchamp. Coverage of the Prix de l'Opera is next.
Top of the pile in the next race as well. The favorite in the Prix de l'Opera, Tokil. Well, that was the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe and the victory of Sotsas. We have 3 Group 1 races still to come. And straight away, before we get into the Prix de l'Opera, we've got Fanny with the Arc winning trainer, Jean-Claude Rouge.
Oui. No, not yet. Pas encore. Jean-Claude Rouge is now an Arc winning trainer. You always said the Arc was not an obsession for you, but now that you have it.
Yes, no, it was not an obsession. I can repeat, and it's I love to win today, of course, but no, it's but this horse should have won a race like that, because last year at 3 he did an impressive race, and after this race we thought he could win this year.
You really did an incredible job of managing this campaign and a choice to go to.
I think that's the thing to retain. And it was not easy, and we did, I think, the good choice of races.
We'll let you talk to Christian. Just a word on Tokyo.
I love her. I hope she will not be too handicapped with soft ground. And the field is much better than usual, so we try to.
Thank you very much. All the best, and congratulations to you and all the team.
Thanks very much, Fanny. Jean-Claude Rouge, a very, very busy man. Torquil, of course, is taking up all his concentration next. She's the favourite for the Prix de l'Opéra Longines. We can have a look at the runners and riders. There are going to be 12 of them after the forfeit of the 2 O'Brien horses. We start off with Grand Glory. Frankie Dettori taking the ride for Italian trainer Gianluca Biatolini. Tanawa, she won the Prix Vermeil over 1.5 miles here, dropping down in distance. All Rumours is an interesting one for Tom Marquand, an outsider. Then on to the German raider Arthur Durance.
Yeah, Durance is to be ridden by Olivier Pellier, with trained by Peter Sherigan, whilst number 5 Ambition, Miguel Barcelona, a winner already this afternoon. Southeast Western trainer Xavier Thomas Dumont looks after that filly, whilst another southern trainer in Jérôme Renier looks after Spirit of Nelson, with Maxime Guillon on board.
Odaria, Joris Mendizabal for Fanchou.
James Fanchou, yep.
Tackwell, the favorite, the Arc winner combo, Jean-Claude Rouge, Christian Desmoreaux. Ticker McGreen, Pierre-Charles Boudot, Francis Graffard.
And then we're on to Zarianka, an exotic raider, big outsider here, number 10. And then 2 non-runners, 11 and 12. And we finish up, Arthur, with Alpine Star.
And another exotic international raider in Inter Royal Lady.
Yeah, I looked at that one. Yeah, I looked at that one, winner of 10 of 11 races in Poland. But no need to worry too much about that one. We can join Fanny, who's with Mark Weld, trainer of Dermot, son of Dermot, sorry, trainer of Tanawa.
Yes, Tanawa, a really sharp filly, sporting the Aga Khan colours. And a question for her, the ground.
Yeah, I think the key to the whole race is the ground. When she won the Group 1 here at the Arc Trials meet, it was a lot quicker. It was a warm, sunny day. It's very different here today. The last couple of furlongs, particularly the last furlong, are very testing. And you're going to need a bit of stamina to win here today.
Has she been training since her last outing?
She hasn't done very much. She's done a couple of pieces of work, just general light, and we haven't done too much with her because having travelled over and back and also being race fit to win here, she's in good shape.
You mentioned stamina. I think she has it. She could almost have run in the Arc as well.
She could almost have run in the Arc, but we chose to come here, and His Highness wanted to run here. And look, she's a fantastic filly, and hopefully she'll do very well.
We wish you all the best and wish she will adapt to the ground. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks very much to Mark Weld. And we can have a look now, Ian, at her win in the Prix Vermeil. It was 3 weeks ago over the longer trip of 2,400 metres.
And as we've just heard, it was much faster ground. But interestingly, you will see on the right, Rabeha, who gets beaten 3 lengths here by Tanawa. Rabeha herself has just been beaten 4 lengths, roughly, in the Arc, and also in the blue and yellow, Wonderful Tonight, who won here yesterday afternoon. So already this form looks good. Remember, this is 2,400 metres on fast ground. She's 2,000 metres on heavy ground this afternoon. And there she is on her way out onto the course.
there she is, Tano, a really consistent filly, but as Mark well said, a real question mark about the ground. There is Grand Glory also heading out, and as they do head out, we can just have a look at some more race footage of the favourite in the race, Torquil, not put a foot wrong so far in her short and successful career, and we can have a look at her winning the Prix de la Nonnette at Deauville.
This was on very soft ground, exactly the same trip today as 2,000 metres. Tickle Me Green, the white and green colours, is giving her a real hard battle all the way to the line. But the really pleasing thing at Torquil, she's either got a very long neck or she's very, very pleasing and trying to hold on. She wins by a half length eventually.
Yeah, keeping her unbeaten record at Torquil. And Fanny is with Francis Graffard, second in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe with In Swoop, and he has Tickle Me Green in this race.
We'll first talk about Tickle Me Green. We saw her going to the start. She seemed really fresh. She was bucking a little bit.
Yeah, she's happy to be here. She didn't have a run last time, so she's full on today.
How confident are you with her today, and what do you think about the ground?
I think the ground will be okay. I'm confident on one side. I know my filly is in top form, and it's a filly I always highly regarded. Now it's a very strong race. So with humility, we will ride her for a third place, and hopefully she can perform up to that level.
We also have to talk about In Swoop performance. Incredible. I know as a trainer you would want to win the Arc, but what do you make of this second place?
Talk about In Swoop, you sure? It's a good run for the horse. It's always difficult when you do this job. You want to win races, and it's frustrating to get so close. But it's I haven't trained for the last 10 years, not 10 years yet. So I think we'll have other opportunities. So he ran a very good race. Proud of my team. We did a good job with this horse, and he's a horse we know we can look forward to for next year because he has been a very late maturing individual.
We certainly look forward to seeing him back next year. And all the best right now with Tickle Me Green. Thank you, Francis-Henri Graffard.
Yeah, thanks, Fanny, with the Francis-Henri Graffard, a real competitor. He hates having to settle for second place, even when it's a fantastic second place like that with the In Swoop, as he said, a late maturing horse. Plenty to look forward to next season with him. The fillies are already down at the post here for the Prix de l'Opéra. Who's your favourite in the race, Arthur?
I do think Tanawa is the horse to beat in the event. I thought she was just so impressive in that 2,400-metre Prix Vermeil. I think even coming back in journey on this ground. The ground is obviously the biggest query. If you're looking for one that might be a little bit of value here is number 6, which is Spirit of Nelson. She's got a really good record on the track, on the heavy tracks. She won a Group 3 back in St. Cloud last October. She's been on the heavy 3 times and she's been placed twice. She could be an interesting one at a decent price in this race, trained by another up-and-coming trainer in Jerome Renier.
Yeah, Jerome Renier, a very good trainer. He won with Scaletti yesterday, possibly heading to the Champion Stakes at Ascot with that one. And Thomas, what's your take on this race?
I'm on Alpine Star number 13. She's a fantastic filly. She won the Coronation. She ran second in the Prix de Diane. Only 15 days between both races, and also she ran a fantastic second in the Prix Jacques Le Marois, beat Circus Maximus, which is very tough horse. She's the only female already fight with the colt and male. She's tough as a rock. Is my pick of the day, to be honest. I really love her.
Yeah, I really like that filly as well, and she's by Sea the Moon, so you would think that the soft ground shouldn't be any problem to her, and she will be thoroughly deserving of a second top-class win on to her name. A filly I quite like at a decentish price is number 5, Ambition. She's about 9 to 1 at the moment here in France. Very close second in the Prix Jean Romanet against Audaria, and that was only her second outing of the year. Previously to that, she'd beaten Grand Glory, who was the hot favourite in a race at Lyon-Paris at the time when the Parisian races had been moved out of Paris due to the COVID restrictions. And she's very well bred. She's by Dubawi and Talent, who is an Oaks winner, and I think she's a really high-class filly in the offing. If there's any weaknesses in any of the favourites, she could well have a role to play.
Her runs spaced apart here. If you go back 3 starts ago, back in November, she actually won on a heavy track in a Group 3 race at Toulouse. Yeah. Was turned out until June with that race you mentioned at Lyon. And, of course, was second, only beaten a neck in that Group 1 at Deauville, the Jean Romanet, last time out.
Just looking down at the market, the 3 favourites are Tana. Well, the favourite is Torquil, the second favourite is Alpine Star and Tarnower, pretty much vying for second favoritism, and then Ambition maybe in 4th place. And yeah, Tickle Me Green also a bit of money for her, for Francis Graffard.
She was unlucky last time.
She was really unlucky. If you're looking at the form figures, then just take that last outing with a pinch of salt, because she managed to get boxed in. There weren't that many runners, but it was just a nightmare in the straight for her. So yeah, she's a filly who should enjoy the ground, and the rain's just starting to fall here at Paris-Longchamp. We'll head up to Ian for the call of this Prix de l'Opéra.
Very localised rain. It's raining at the start. It hasn't hit the grandstand yet, although I'm safely in the cover all afternoon, so I'm not overly concerned. This is Inter Royal Lady going forward into store number... Oh, she's number 14, goes up on the outer there to store number 5. This is Grand Glory. Big odds chance, about 18. Locally has been 22. We have the grey and white stripes of Ambition, and then the Aga Khan's filly, Tarnower. Christophe Soumon is going to be the final one to walk forward. She has the outer draw, store number 14. On her way forward, impressive winner of the Prix Vermeil over further and on faster ground last time out. The last time she in fact ran over 2,000 metres, she was successful at Leopardstown in the September of last year. Improved throughout last season and has been doing a lot of winning, including that good Group 1 success last time out, although she's a little bit of her own mind at the moment about going forward into the stalls. She's 4.8 chance locally. Favourite is Torquil. Jean-Claude Rouge, Christian de Merle just had the Arc winner, blue and white colours for those, colours of Hamdan Al Maktoum. And that is Tarnower in, so they are set to go. Mile and a quarter, 2,000 metres for this Prix de l'Opéra. Zarienka, who dropped her rider in the parade ring, is the last of them to get going as they start away. And the yellow sleeves of Ordaya, with Alpine Star, striped sleeves, going past her. Under restraint, though. Not sure Shane Fairley wants to be in lead early on. Torquil and Christian de Merle's on the outside. All rumours. 2 shades of blue behind those. Durance is next to Grey Jacket. The grey and white stripes of Ambition follows. And then Inter Royal Lady, dark blue and yellow jacket. Tickle Me Green, white and green colours. The orange is Spirit of Nelson. She's just preceded by Tarnower in green colours. To the right with a noseband, Zayanka towards the rear of the field. She has only Grand Glory in light blue and yellow colours behind her. Doesn't appear to be particularly strong pace. They're just moving at the highest part of the course past the 7 furlong start. And it is local market leader Torquil who shows in front. Alpine Star still under a little bit of restraint there in 2nd place. And then comes Ordaya, the yellow sleeves, about a half length back in 3rd. All rumours 1 length off those in 4th place. Durance is next from the striped colours of Ambition. There'll be a length and a half to the green cap of Tickle Me Green, who is half length ahead, I suppose, of Inter Royal. Tarnower is next. She's now got 3 behind her, those being Spirit of Nelson, Zarienka and Grand Glory as they move down the full straight on the way towards home. Not gone particularly fast by the looks of things. Torquil has the advantage, stretching out in front, but only by a half length to Alpine Star, who's a lot closer in 2nd. All rumours given the hurry up round the outside. Ordaya behind these. Now Tarnower in green towards the right, about 2 from the right, making good progress. Ambition and Tickle Me Green behind those. Then Spirit of Nelson. Alpine Star has come to join Torquil and just get past her. Ambition has moved through over the far side. Ordaya, yellow cap, still running on. Tarnower towards the outside in the green is really beginning to close now as they race towards the finishing straight. And it's Tarnower coming to join Alpine Star. Ordaya still there on the far side, and Tarnower, I think, has just grabbed it on the line to Alpine Star. Ordaya behind those, and Torquil Ambition behind those was Inter Royal Lady, Tickle Me Green, followed in by Grand Glory, Spirit of Nelson. That was followed by All Rumours. Zarienka came next, and I think the last one home was Durance. Close finish in the end, but Tarnower, she's improved massive amounts in the last 12 months or so, and this has been another Group 1 for her. She dropped down in trip, but she won. Another great run from Alpine Star, has been so consistent this season. Big run. Ordaya in 3rd place. Torquil faded a little bit late on to be 4th. Then Ambition, they're clear from Tickle Me Green and Grand Glory.
7, 8 and 5 after the running of race number 5, the Prix de l'Opera. Coming with a well-timed run, patiently ridden by Christophe Simeon. Tanawa knew where the winning post was, handled the conditions to perfection and got home narrowly. Tanawa, Christophe Simeon, the winner over number 13, Alpine Star, who gave her all. She was prominent throughout, ridden by Shane Foley. A great run to just be caught on the line, was very heavily supported here in France in the dying minutes of that race, just from a betting perspective. And number 7, Ordeira, proved that her win in the Group 1 at Deauville last time out was no fluke and was a close-up third, ridden by Joris Mindisabel. Fourth in was horse 8, Torquil, and fifth into number 5, Ambition. Looked a great race on paper, Catherine, and that's the way it turned out.
Yeah, it certainly turned out to be a great race, and Tanawa justifying the decision of her connections. They could have legitimately supplemented her into the Arc following her win in the trial, the Prix Vermeil, which is a very successful trial for the Arc. They decided, well, Mark Wells said to me after that race that they felt that 10 furlongs was her best distance. There was few concerns about the ground, but it didn't pose any problem to her. She came with a very, very strong run through, and what a consistent filly she is. A really special filly. She's a 4-year-old. She's by Shamadel, another great Aga Khan maternal family, and a good kind of half hour for the Aga Khan studs, because they've won the Opera and they have Siuni, who's the sire of Sotsas, winner of the Arc. So great for them, and great for Christophe Simeon, their stable jockey for many seasons now in France. So we can just have a look through the final stages again as Christophe asks her.
Very fair race.
Yeah.
Good leader, good pace. Christophe can settle and wait. Came in the middle of the track and he just hit the line. Well, Alpine Star was tough again.
Yeah, maybe just hit the front a little bit soon, Thomas. Do you think?
I don't know. I don't know why he didn't stay behind the leader.
Yeah, Fanny's with the winning trainer, the winning trainer's son, Mark Weld.
Yes, Mark, what a run. I mean, she handled the ground, and she does have the stamina and the heart.
Yeah, she was all heart. She's very courageous. She's very tough. You know, when she won the Vermeil here, it was a great performance, and now on the other extreme of ground, she's done it again. It's very hard here in France. It's very difficult to win, and to have a filly, to have won now 2 Group 1s in France for His Highness, it's fantastic. I'm very sad my father isn't here today, and I also must say I'm also very sad poor Pat Smullen's not with us either.
We've been thinking about Pat Smullen a lot. We'll miss him dearly, and he was a key part of the Weld operation. Dermot Weld asked Pat Smullen to join him from John Ox. Pat was riding for John Ox, and I know he's watching from above. And to Pat and to Pat's family, our thoughts are with you.
Yeah, thanks, Fanny. Terrible, tragic disparition of Pat Smullen a couple of weeks ago, so closely linked to the Dermot Weld stable. And Tanawa giving them something to smile about here, winning the Prix de l'Opera with Christophe Simeon. Her second Group 1 win of her career, following that in the Prix Vermeil 3 weeks ago. Mark Weld has braved the quarantine restrictions to come over to Paris.
Here we go. Thank you. Okay.
And celebrate.
We're getting good at riding around here. You know that.
Celebrate this win of Tanawa.
Doesn't look a big filly, isn't she? Mare. She doesn't look that big.
I got a close enough look at her 3 weeks ago when she won the Prix Vermeil. She's kind of normal size, I would say, not a real powerhouse like Persian King or horses like that, but not overly small, and she's just so consistent. Quite likely raced. Typical Dermot Weld, he knows how to aim them for the targets and get the job done.
You know, because
Christophe Simeon again, it doesn't matter what horse he's on, he knows his horse, he knows how to ride it, he knows the track. He can take a horse to the lead here at Longchamp in these conditions, dictate terms, and yet he can settle a horse like Tanawa out at the rear of the field, know where the best part of the track is today, come down and get home. Magnificent rider, Christophe.
Yeah, Christophe is a fantastic rider. How many times has he been champion jockey, Thomas?
10 times.
10 times champion jockey.
Is the type of jockey who got the anticipation of everything.
Yeah.
He can go right and you say...
So it is Tarnawa, 4-year-old filly by Chamerdal in the Prix de l'Opera, punches her ticket to the Breeders' Cup filly in Mare Turf. Wins for trainer Dermot Weld. Christophe Soumillon for the Aga Khan, concluding our live coverage here from Longchamp on Fox Sports 1. There is more live horse racing coverage coming up later on this afternoon. That starts at 12:30 Eastern Time on Fox Sports 2. We'll have live coverage of the entire card from Belmont Park, including the Grade 2 Belle Dame as Dunbar Road looks to continue her perfect 4-year-old campaign in her final start before she heads to the Breeders' Cup Distaff, part of 3 graded stakes on today's coverage on Fox Sports 2. Coming up next on Fox Sports 1, Red Bull Signature Series Drift Masters. That is next. It was not to be for the Supermare Enable in a bid for a historic third arc. It was Success, the half-brother, the female turf champion Sister Charlie. The winner of the Arc for Jean-Claude Rouge. What a performance. And Tarnawa for Dermot Weld and Christophe Soumillon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on FS2 next at 12:30.